A people never were, nor ever shall be, secure, while the transactions of their leadership may be concealed. Patrick Henry. Now, you may remember Patrick Henry from fourth grade social studies, where he also yelled, "Give me liberty or give me death." And what Patrick Henry recognized was the core relationship between freedom, transparency, and accountability in government are all very closely linked. In Tuolumne County, I believe we have a broken trust with our government. That when you give them a dollar, they don't spend it well. That when they speak, they don't speak for you. And that when they do something, it's not going to work. I believe fundamentally that is from the lack of public input in that process, that it is from the lack of accountability with our sitting incumbents who don't go back to the people outside of trying to get another vote for the election, who don't say, "How can I help you?" Even not on these big things, but on that pothole in your street or discussing something, an idea that you have for a business. How can I be your advocate? So I wanted to talk a little bit about public input, how we turn it to 11, and how some of the problems that we're facing in the county that I've identified, and some solutions that I think would get more people involved. Again, if you like this, please share it. Like it on Facebook, like it on YouTube, send it to a friend. It's extremely important. And once I'm in office, hopefully, I will need your help in joining these committees and helping to hold me accountable and the rest of the county accountable, and making sure that we all are working to build a more prosperous, open for business Tuolumne County in the future. So, some of the problems, the first one to me that stands out is the fact that our elected representatives don't host town halls. And to me, it's flabbergasting. I don't get it. In a district of 11,000 people, we're not talking state senate where there's 1 million people per representative. 11,000 people, you should expect to have a relationship with them, to meet them face to face, shake their hand, tell them what you don't like, what you do like, and ask them for help. And I think we should absolutely be expecting town halls from our representatives. The second is that when you go to these Board of Supervisors meetings, one, they're at 2 Green Street at the county building on the fourth floor in the Board of Supervisors chambers. If you don't know where that is, it's okay because they haven't put that information out very well. And not a lot of people are able to attend every other Tuesday at 9 a.m. In that meeting, especially working people, especially business owners, especially students. So we don't get a lot of voices heard there. And even if you do take all the time to go there, you get 2 minutes on the Tuesday to go speak your mind at them. Hopefully, they politely listen, sometimes not so politely. And you sit back down wondering, why did I bother to spend all this time dressing up, coming in here, researching my point, if really it was a foregone conclusion and they weren't really listening to me, anyways? We also have a lot of empty seats on the different committees, commissions, and boards in the county. You'll notice that frequently, if you check the website, they're canceled for lack of things to do. We have boards like the Commission on Aging, where almost half of the members are either vacant seats or people who are not showing up currently. And you don't have any, if many, representatives from young community of people who are caretakers, domestic home care workers. You don't have many industry representatives from the services provided, as we see in the senior networking group, which is a fantastic organization there. We don't see those voices represented. And I want to see us be able to get more involved in that as a supervisor. I also think that the public's been ignored. So, the grand jury, if you're not familiar with it, is a group of citizens pulled together that are given full access to certain topics of the county that they choose each year. They go through and audit it and scrutinize every detail and present a bunch of recommendations on how to fix it. Now, I think if you talk to any grand jury member, and I've talked to quite a few, they feel that these reports are effectively politely responded to and tossed in the garbage or put away in some dusty file. That the county never has taken it seriously, that they viewed the public grand jury reports as an obstacle to get through, and not so much as a tool to try and improve the accountability and efficiency in government. We also have that when they spent $40,000 to study 400 people about the taxes, they asked, well, what do you think of the county? The answers they got were not much. We don't like it. We don't trust it. We don't think that they are spending well. There was not a very positive response. Instead of trying to work on the fundamental trust issues, the communication issues, instead, they did a very partial thing. They hired secretly a PR person who's going to run social media ads saying, in fact, the county's great. Look how good we are. It's at best a real partial solution. And I think that it really, because it was not brought up for any public discussion, was another instance where they displayed exactly the reason that more information is needed for the public, we just don't trust them to do the right thing with that money. And lastly, bad website. You go on the website, it's hard to navigate. You go to the Board of Supervisors page. The number one thing you want to find out, where are the meetings? Who's my supervisor? What district am I in? It's hard to find those resources right now. I think we really need to put together a plan to fix that. Put all the most useful stuff ahead for us. I have a lot of solutions of things I talk with in the community. Some of this comes from my background, working in government, working at my college and university, working in grassroots organizing, as well as what I've read from other areas that are dealing with the exact same issues. One thing is town halls. I promise, if elected county supervisor for District 5, I will come back once a month to host a town hall, regardless of whatever crisis or topic is happening, so that you can come out, you can look me in the eye, and you can tell me what you think of what I'm doing, what issues you're facing, and most importantly, I can ask the question, how can I help you? The fundamental question of a public servant. How can I help your situation? What can I do? I also want to fill all the committees. I want to make sure that every spot has an applicant from District 5, and I will keep putting them up until every single position is filled. And if we do not want to have an entire District 5 filled board, then I hope that the other supervisors will continue to put up candidates too. We need to release an application and take a hands on approach to say we need more citizen input. It's unacceptable to have seats vacant for months and months and months in these positions. I also want to hold public office hours. We're talking at a cafe, a restaurant, a bar, where real people meet and have conversations, not fourth floor of a county building that a lot of people don't frankly know where it is. And I want to maintain individual connection with you. I want to be able to let you know on Facebook, maybe even Instagram, and by email, here's what I'm doing. You put me in there, and here is how I'm earning your vote. Here's where I need your help, and here's an avenue that you can respond back to me to say, here's what you need help. I also want to hire a public information officer. If we are serious that public input, accountability, and transparency are priorities and not just luxuries for the county, we got to put our money where our mouth is. We need to hire someone who's in charge of updating and prioritizing the website resources and information resources, hosting events to get more people involved in the public, putting together materials that explain how the county operates, making sure that there are effective summaries on all the really long 100, 200, 300 page documents that explain what they are in layman's terms so an average person walking in can still have useful input because they're going to have the information there to make an informed decision instead of handing them a 300-page technical packet and saying, well, hopefully you brought your accountant with you. You know, I think we also need to work on website revamp, especially through the PIO. And I want to be able to bring in people to say, what are the resources you use most? How do we prioritize that? Another part is digitization. Now, the county did take a recent step towards that with OpenGov, and I want to see that continued with other types of apps such as Municode. If you're not familiar, Municode organizes all the ordinances and other documents of a county into a really easy format. Right now, if you want to get the ordinances for Tuolumne County, you need to go into a number of PDFs. I'm talking probably 100 or more. Download each one of them to go read it. And I had these printed up two to a page, double-sided, and it's a 5-inch binder that's actually about this big. I need a 6-inch binder. It's a lot of stuff. It is hard to navigate, and that has to change. Lastly, I want to have interns. I want to involve more people in a hands-on approach to the county government, being able to see where the levers of power are, be able to see how the process of writing an ordinance or legislation is, and just generally getting more familiar with the different contacts in the county. We need to get more people involved in that process to defeat what is an old boys mentality. The idea that only a few powerful people actually have any meaningful input. I think it's toxic to democracy, and we have to fight that. And lastly, at the bottom there, discussing meeting changes. I don't know exactly what we can do with that, but the current system, 9 a.m. on a Tuesday every second week, it's not working. And the format, it's not working. And I want to speak with legal counsel to see how do we make this a more effective format where more involvement can happen with the public, where people actually listen to, where it's easier to participate, where they're not quite so long and they're perhaps even in a more accessible location. All ideas on the table. Again, the election's coming up March 3rd, but voting is going to be happening all of February. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me because I want to earn your vote. My name's Jaron. I'm going to be on the ballot. And if you vote for me as supervisor, If I win in March there, I'm going to have 9 months to be able to help implement these things, to build that team, to involve people in the government. It's an extremely important election, and I hope for your support. And I appreciate your time in listening to this.